Eminence. Go throw them knees up in the air.
9, 8, 7. We have a go for main engine start. 4, 3, 2, 1, and liftoff.
It's the SFL Nights it's the SFL Nights with A.J.Striker, with A.J.Striker. It's the SFL Nights it's the SFL Nights with A.J.Striker, with A.J.Striker. Ashley Jackson about the action. SFL news, come and join with interaction. Whatever happens, happens. Yeah, you will leave with satisfaction. Yeah, tell your team and tell your captain. I've been waiting all week for some SFL action. On a big screen, I feel like I'm Ashley Jackson. Quarterback sneak, 4th and 3, man, what's happening? Touchdown, championships trying to stack up. I've been waiting all week for some SFL action. On a big screen, I feel like I'm Ashley Jackson. Quarterback sneak, 4th and 3, man, what's happening? Touchdown, championships trying to stack up. Rushing like a bullet into the end zone. Defense, hold up, no scoring in the red zone. Throwing up pick 6, I feel like I'm Josh Rowe. Throwing downs over the shoulder, think I'm Jack Winmo. I need me back to back, trying to be like Vulture. Cause a storm, cause I'm mighty, it's in the culture. Esports TV, YouTube, Twitch, SFL Live, tuning you don't wanna miss. I've been waiting all week for some SFL action. On a big screen, I feel like I'm Ashley Jackson. Quarterback sneak, 4th and 3, man, what's happening? Touchdown, championships trying to stack up. I've been waiting all week for some SFL action. On a big screen, I feel like I'm Ashley Jackson. Quarterback sneak, 4th and 3, man, what's happening? Touchdown, championships trying to stack them. Next level like my entertainment.
What's up, SFL Nation, and welcome back to SFL Nights with A.J.Striker. Thank you for joining me today or tonight or whenever you decided to hit that play button or turn on that radio dial. Really appreciate it, y'all. And as you can see, fortunately, Diggy and I were not available to do our regular show this week. Both of us had little ones that came down with the cold, so unfortunately we're not on camera right now. But hopefully next week we'll return back to our regularly scheduled program. But for tonight, I will have the Week 8 game scores for you, as well as my 4th and Goal interviews featuring Mr. Andy Hamilton. I also have Mr. Eddie Gage and also Mr. Damon Simien's on this evening. So it's going to be a fun show, full of owner talk. Great way to get to know these guys. But we're going to start off first with our Week 8 in review. So the Vancouver Legion took on the Florida Storm, and Vancouver won 44-42 in a very tight game. Houston Hunters took on the Queen City Corsairs, and Houston won 38-14. Minnesota Legends battled the Seattle Nemesis, where Minnesota won 23-20. The Charleston Predators took on the San Diego Mavericks, where San Diego won 31-17. Canton Classics battled the Mexico City Aztecs, where Mexico City won 37-10. The Sioux Falls Sparrows battled the Los Angeles Vikings, where Los Angeles won first game 44-30. Portland Fleet took on the Atlanta Swarm, undefeated Atlanta Swarm, and Atlanta stayed undefeated at 38-23. Jacksonville Kings took on the Indianapolis Ramblers, where Indianapolis won 42-20. The Tulsa Desperados battled the Louisiana Revolution, where Tulsa won 28-0. And the Motor City V8s battled the Alamo City Artillery, where Alamo City won 34-17. And last but not least, the Arizona Scorpions took on the DC Dragons, where Arizona won. Tight game, 30-23. The tight games tend to be a chess match, and you can tell the seasoned coaches because of that. And it was wonderful games to watch. If you did not get a chance to go check those out, go to Simulation Football League's YouTube page and watch either the full games from its entirety, or you can check out the highlights. Also, visit www.simulationfl.net if you want to create a player, find out more information about our community, or even receive a call from Commissioner Cameron Irvine. But for now, we have Fourth and Goal interviews coming right up. What is up, SFL Nation? Welcome back to SFL Nights, A.J.Striker, Fourth and Goal edition, featuring a good friend of mine, Mr. Andy Hamilton. He hasn't been on the show for a while, but I welcome him back with open arms. Andy, he's also the, defensive coordinator right now for
Yes, defensive coordinator this year.
For Vancouver, as well as their owner. And you also have a player too, right?
Yep, I try and get involved in as many ways as possible.
Hey, you get the bang for your buck. I understand that. How you been doing?
I'm good. It's a beautiful, warm day here in Florida, so no one can complain when it's 75 and sunny, right?
Hey, that is a beautiful thing. I'm trying to figure out why it's still so cold in the desert right now. Like, what happened?
Hey, the climates, man. I tell you what.
Exactly. This whole global warming thing, people thought they were playing, but
I wasn't going to go that far, but yes, that's where I was headed.
Great minds think alike. But man, welcome back. You have had some fantastic games since our last visit to you.
Yeah, we've been fighting. I think the talent level in the league has grown so much, and all the teams we face these days are giving us a real run for our money. So very lucky to have 4 wins under our belt, and going to continue to try and add to that as we go along.
Indeed. Well, let's talk about this most recent game that you had with the Florida Storm. That was one of the most exciting games that I saw all weekend. I mean, the back and forth, it was like a tennis match almost. And whoever had the ball last was the one, that came out victorious. So I would like for you to go back to that moment where you saw Stephen Bush running in for a touchdown to surpass you, like 1 minute and 25 seconds left to go.
Yeah. Yeah, I think, the best part about the SFL and about, all pro football, I think, is that we've seen a lot of the same situations arise, right? You see a team take over with a little under 2 minutes to go, and you've seen them throw a bunch of picks, and you've seen them, go down, drive for touchdowns. You've seen last-minute touchdowns. You've seen walk-off field goals. So, for me, I think I've seen a lot more interceptions for us than I have seen come from behind victories on the road under 2 minutes. So when Stephen Bush, scores with that much time left, in my head, I'm going, well, it was a good game between the two of us, but looks like Almighty got me again. And all credit kind of goes to our offense, our offensive coordinator, Michael Percoco, this year. They really did a great job of setting us up to get chance to win, into field goal range to kind of kick it. But, I'm very pessimistic at times. And, the minute that Steven kind of crossed into the end zone, I was kind of like, man, here we go again. 3 and 4 is what it's looking like. So, it's a credit to kind of us never giving up and our offense kind of going to work and getting the job done.
Indeed. And then when you saw you saw the guys lining up, saw Chance lining up to kick that game-winning field goal. What was it going through your mind at that moment?
Yeah, once we got into range, I kind of had a lot more confidence with that. I think, Chris Curtis and Christian Brown, for as much as them and Brett Killian and our offense has kind of struggled at times this year, to see them kind of work like clockwork was big. But we have all the trust in the world in Chance. Really any time that he's up to kick, we're pretty confident that he's going to put that thing through. So we put him into range that we felt was comfortable. So by the time that we were lined up for the field goal, I was pretty confident that we were able to pull it off.
Did the locker room explode after that?
Yeah, they certainly, heart rate medicine, was flying off the shelves in Vancouver if I had to make a guess. But, our team, our locker room's so great because, win or loss, they really kind of hold it in the same regard. They're very happy to be a part of this league and be on a team with each other. And I think that's really what makes it great is, a lot of times we'll lose a game and I'll go in there, like we did against Portland. That was really kind of all my fault when Percoco was taking a week off, and I tried to get the offense going. And you go in the locker room after a loss like that, and you think, oh man, they're going to be really down, really hurt, really negative. And a lot of the comments you see are, hey, we'll get them next week, or, hey, just wasn't our game. And it's very much the same when we win is, hey, there's one, we got to add another one to it. So, our team and our franchise, I think for all the games we've played in, our guys are really excited about playoffs and championships is what our kind of goals are. And the regular season is a great way to fight to get there, but certainly not the end point. And so, win or loss, close game, blowout, we're really kind of looking towards what we can do to get ourselves closer to that championship, in the next week or the week after that or whatever may come next.
Indeed, you're definitely on the right foot. Now, a couple questions about your coaching staff. What made you select Mike Percoco and originally James Walters? Because I know James had to step back for a little bit.
Yep. And we got Chris Curtis, who does some scouting too for us. So, want to make sure everyone kind of gets a good thumbs up. Brett Killian has done a little bit of stuff for us this year. Chance to Win, I think, is going to start doing some stuff maybe this week. So, I think when I look at kind of coaches and when I want to get people involved, first and foremost, it's about passion, who's excited about getting involved. And Michael Percoco, when I talked to him in the draft process before he came to us, he was very excited and had a lot of good thoughts and kind of the right mindset in going into coaching which is really, hey, I don't know much. I'd like to learn a lot, but I don't know anything right now. And so kind of given the opportunity to help him kind of grow and, he is very passionate about diving in head first. And that's something that I am as well. And so when given the opportunity to kind of pair up with him and dive in head first, both of us at the same time, there's times where he'll send me a message about an opponent 5 weeks away that he's looking at, and he's like, oh, hey, they ran this. And I'm like, man, I'm focused on who we're playing tomorrow. You're going to have to send me that here in a couple of weeks. But he's a great dude, a lot of passion for the league, a lot of passion for all the coaching acumen he's collected over his short time in the league and with all pro football. And, it really then from there kind of grew into, a brothership. And he's a guy that, for our franchise, I don't think we would operate without, similar to Brett Killian. And that's kind of why we elevated them on the front office side to minority owners this past offseason to kind of give them the credit that they deserve for what they've done for the Legion and how they kind of continue to push us to new heights.
Indeed. Well deserved too. Look, all good guys over there. And when you do have that passion to help your team in more than just being a player, I know that helps you, to be able to concentrate on things that you need to, whether it's in real life or even just being an owner, how hard is it, or how hard was it for you just to kind of let go of the reins and let these guys, all right, I'm going to trust in you to be able to put these plays in, and I'm not going to touch it. How hard is it?
It depends on the week. I think, when you come off a week like Florida where, Percoco and the offense puts up 40 points, you're going into the next week and you're like, hey man, whatever you think. Right. And then, there's some weeks where you put up 13 and you're like, are you sure about that play? But I think the confident thing that we have is, we never let anyone who's a first year coach take the reins, right? We like to kind of build from within. So, James Walters, for example, was doing the defense last year, and the year before that, he was doing scouting, right? So he got to kind of learn our system, learn what we, do best. And then, once he was ready, we handed him the reins. And I think that's the important part for any coach is not necessarily just, hey, where can I get my start? Where can I start calling plays? But where can I learn the most? And that's kind of something that when we look for coaches that we're looking for is, how do you want to learn how, for 20 seasons it's been all pro, in order to be 2K4, how do you to learn these games and what works and what doesn't, and how open are you to kind of hearing what we've learned? And that's kind of what makes it easier a lot of times is by the times we're handing off the reins to whether it's Percoco or Walters or anyone else who may come down the line, or Charles or Jeremy or anyone who has come down the line, in previous years, the confidence to kind of hand them the reins is from the seat and the position that, hey, they've learned and they've showcased that they have the skill and ability to kind of execute at that high level that we look for. So, it's never fun to let someone else run with it. If you're nervous, it's kind of like letting someone else walk your dog. There's always going to be a little bit of nerves there. But when they've, been practicing walking, the little fake stick with no dog on it for seasons over seasons, it's a little bit easier to watch them take the reins.
Indeed. I definitely understand that. 4-3 right now.
Yep.
Is there an opponent that is on your schedule, or maybe within the division, that you just circle every single time? Like, I need to get these guys. Oh,
yes. I think the OGs of the league are kind of who I circle, right? The Eddies of the world, Mighty, T-Pat and Baltimore, obviously, TJ. Those guys are obviously at the top of the list, but I think Ramos, there's a lot of names that are guys that have been here for a long time and know this game and this league. And at times they know me better than I know myself, right? So that's kind of where we, or at least I kind of circle on the schedule is, who are these guys that have been here for so long that are kind of my prove it games to showcase that, hey, our franchise is not just good for now, we're good forever. And I think that's something that I always try and do. But, this year, I think there's a lot of teams that are kind of coming up that have had that kind of ability to not necessarily surprise. I don't want to act like, maybe they don't deserve it, because they certainly do. Portland, I think, is a huge one this year for us. We'll play them the last week of the season. They certainly had our number in the first game. So that'll be a big one for us. We have never lost the Pacific Division title. It came to us the first year, and we've retained it every year since. And them beating us kind of put them out in the front and in control of that one. So they're certainly kind of on the list here for us moving forward to kind of make sure that we get them back is probably the best way to say it, so that hopefully we can retain that Pacific title. But I think that answered your question. For me, it's always the OGs and the guys who have been here the longest and have kind of shown that, they're the contenders in the league. That's who we want to compete with.
Makes perfect sense to me. I'm wondering, was Vancouver your first choice? Meaning, when you first were told that you're getting a team, or you decided that you wanted to own a team, was Canada your first choice, or did you actually have another destination in mind, but for whatever reason, you just selected Canada?
Yeah, good question. So back in season 9, the expansion process was a little bit different than it is now. People didn't really buy teams from other people. It was really a, and this, Ashley, it was really kind of you applied and you told people what your franchise was, where it was, and who you were. You showcased kind of your coaching acumen. And the ownership group would vote a couple of people in, right? And we've done the expansion a couple of times since then with the similar process. But without the kind of being able to buy a team, you really had to focus on, where your team was, what your brand was, what your identity was, and your coaching record. So for me at the time in season 9, all we had was Mexico City and teams in the United States. And so for me, Canada was an option on the western side of the country, which we also had a little bit of an opening in. At the time, Florida was up in Alaska, so they were kind of the northernmost team, and they were kind of on their own island over there. And so for me, Vancouver was an opportunity to kind of fit in an area where the SFL had some need, both on the Canadian and the Western front, and also kind of be an area that I've been to Vancouver a handful of times. My uncle's from there. Beautiful part of the country. And then I think another important part is that we found a group of guys in Vancouver, or well, in Canada, I should say, in general, that wanted to get involved with the league. And we kind of opened the doors for them. Brett Killian, Tom Pepper, Mark Lopez. A lot of those guys have been on our team and with our team for, I think this is Brett's 12th season or 13th or however many we've been in the league. Tom was here for 10 seasons plus. So it gave them the opportunity to feel like they were part of a team that was theirs, not just a team out in a random part of the United States. And really kind of, for me, was a good opportunity to be unique. So I always kind of rocked with Vancouver, flirted with the idea a little bit after college of maybe moving it to Ohio if I ended up there job-wise. But right now down here in Florida, and kind of no reason to consider anything other than Vancouver, and especially with kind of the heritage and I think the history that we have there. I think we have a lot of good guys who like being part of that Canadian franchise, and I think hopefully one day in the SFL, and I don't doubt that maybe Toronto or another Canadian city might one day host a franchise.
Okay, indeed. I thought it was a very interesting choice, because I've actually had players on my team that, there's in the openings. Well, they've since moved on, but they were in the openings. They definitely wanted to come to Canada because that's where they live. So I get that, Awesome. So, Andy, for you, well, first of all, how long have you actually been in the league?
Yeah, I started coaching in Carolina in season 6 with James Klein and Shan Varner. I coached there for 2.5 seasons without a player. And then the Los Angeles Sharks lost their coach. They're no longer a team. They lost their coach, I want to say week 9 or 10 of the season out of 12, and they needed a coach for 2 weeks. And, I said at that point, we had to win out to make the playoffs and needed some help. And I said to Shannon James, at that time, I think I was offensive coordinator. I said to him, hey, this is an opportunity to be a head coach of a team for 2 weeks to kind of bolster my resume and my, bid for owning a franchise. Would you guys mind if I applied? And James is a great guy in Queen City, has been a great guy ever since I met him, said, no, please go. We would love nothing more than for you to kind of go follow your dreams and your passion. So went to Los Angeles. I think in those 4 games we went 1-3, nothing great, but gave me kind of that opportunity and experience of owning a franchise for a small period of time and what it took to run a team. So was there for 5 games or what have you, and then got my team in Vancouver in season 9 and have been here ever since.
Awesome. So you, of course, we're in season 20 right now. And I know that you have seen a lot of changes that have occurred since the time you first joined until now. Would you mind briefly telling us about those changes for those that are just joining? Like, what, from your perspective, have you noticed? Things that have gotten great, that has gotten better, things that maybe could have a little bit of improvement, and just in general, that kind of progression of the league.
Yeah, that's a huge question. I think, the fun part is in season 6, there was nothing, right? Like, it was Cam with like 2 Xboxes and a computer, and that was like it. There was no Discord. We were on Facebook Messenger at that point and emails. And we transitioned for a little bit to forums, and then we went to Slack for a while, and now we're finally on Discord, and that seems to stick. There was one commentator. It was just Cam. He was calling games. Damon would call a couple, but then I was kind of the first standard broadcaster outside of Cam, and then we added Curtis and grew in that area of the league. And then, we've grown into, there was no stats team at that time, so we've added that. There was no one kind of creating content outside of one-off kind of mock drafts or articles. So we've grown a lot in those areas of the league as well. And then obviously, next season we'll make a big transition to a different game for the second time, but first time in the SFL history, because we were the WAFL when they were on NCAA 14. So Certainly a lot of areas that the league has grown and kind of became bigger or more exciting, especially with so many new people joining, so many new faces and community members to get to know. I think that's the biggest thing for me, is that every day someone new is walking through the door with a new personality, and it is a new person to tell us about their life and things that they like and things that are unique about them. And I think that's, the broadcasters are great. The stats are great. The playbooks are great. The designs of uniforms, the new teams, all that's fun. But for me, it's the new people each and every day. The people like Guy Clausen. Bread is a funny example where doesn't even have a player, but is out there in the world and a big part of the SFL these days, and makes me smile all the time. And I think that's something that you can't take away from this league, is the personalities and the friendships that are born through a love for football and a love for this community at times, because at certain points, I forget that we're even playing football anymore. I'm so focused on the plays and the broadcasting, and it's fun to turn on the game on the weekends, but at other times, you're playing it for the convention and stuff like that, and it's more fun talking to people than it is to watch your games. You almost get a sense of anxiousness, and by the time the game's over, you're just happy to be on to another week.
Indeed, good stuff, Andy. Now, these are some questions, kind of like get to know you questions, and it's kind of be like a rapid fire, because I know, we may be on a time restriction, but
okay.
How would you describe how would you describe your sense of humor?
Bad. I don't think I'm funny at all, but I certainly like to laugh.
Okay, gotcha. If you ran the world, what was one thing you would change?
Oh, I don't know if I want to run the world. Baseball wouldn't be a sport anymore. We're just going to cut it out. No more baseball.
You about to get a whole bunch of DMs on that one. Oh my God.
Come get me. Come get me.
If you could be guaranteed one thing in life besides money, what would that be?
I really want to have a family one day, and I think I would really love to kind of know that was coming comfortably. That's something that I would look forward to, and it sounds really silly, and I may get more embarrassing DMs about that answer than anyone else, but that's kind of that would be my answer if money and a job security was not one of those.
Hey man, there's nothing silly about that. I think that's something that most people aspire to have.
Sure.
So that's all.
Thank you.
You're welcome. If you could be the funniest person in the room or the smartest person in the room, who would you be and why?
Funniest. I think, it's a lot easier to be the smartest person in the room, because I think when you segment out the topics, like Ashley, you're probably way smarter than me, maybe at playing guitar, which is back behind you on the wall, right? But I may be smarter than you in another area of conversation. So, I think that's a severely overrated skill set. But being funny is one that translates across a lot of different, languages, barriers, cultures. So I would always choose funnier over smarter.
Okay, good stuff. If you had to eat one meal for the rest of your life, what would that be and why?
Easy answer. Chicken and broccoli from any Chinese restaurant, anywhere within a 10-minute radius. I used to have a superstition. I've gotten away from it a little bit. Maybe at 4 and 3, I need to get back to it. Where I would order Chinese food on game day, DoorDash to my house every single week.
Okay. Oh my God, that's expensive.
Every week. It was, but I think that was the season we were like 9 and 3 or 4, and then 11 and 1. It was like, when you're winning that much, Ashley, I don't know what you're supposed to do. You know what I mean?
A good one.
It's investing.
And you read about that. Shit, you need to have some stocks and bonds.
I'm doing my part. All
right. So, if you could be a supernatural creature, what would you be and why?
I would probably go for. I'll give you two answers. I would probably go for the Abominable Snowman. I think that would be
Okay.
fun to roll around in the snow. But my real answer is Ray Bentley. I don't really believe that he's a real person most days of the week. And if I could be him for, a while, that would be great.
Gotcha. I hope Ray sees this too. If you could
Oh, we'll make
choose,
sure he does.
if you could choose to be one age for the forever, what would it be and why?
So I'm 28, so I've only known 1 through 28, right?
Right.
I would say like 22, 23, but I know for a fact that in 5 to 10 years, I'll probably hit an age and want to be that age forever.
Okay.
So I would say 22, 23 based on the 28 years that I've experienced to now.
That's fair. That's fair. If you
Thank
could
you.
sail around the world,
Uh-huh.
what would the name of your boat be?
Probably some bad pun. I don't know if I could think of one off the top of my head.
Okay.
Or can I take other people on the boat?
Sure.
Then I'm gonna boats and bros.
Okay. I'm sure your first passenger would be Prococo. Sure.
Yeah, he's on it. Yep.
If you were handed a plane ticket to go anywhere in the world right now, where would you go?
Ooh. Anywhere in the world right now.
Anywhere.
I've never been to Europe. I'd love to go to. I want to go to England and go see like a Premier League game. I think that would be a lot of fun.
Okay. Maybe hook up with Liam while you're out there.
Yeah, well, I'll think about it. Him and I. It depends on the month whether him and I are friends or not. So we'll see. Right now, we're in good conversations.
Couple more questions. What was your favorite movie as a child, and why?
I was a big Robin Hood fan. I kind of like the idea of someone, not necessarily following, the status quo or the rules, but doing the right thing. And I think that for me kind of resonated. So I think that's all looking back on it. At the time, I probably just thought it was fun or funny. But, I think when I think back on it now, that's kind of the reason.
Okay. A movie is being made about your life. Who would play you in this movie?
I think everyone's direct answer is just whoever the most good-looking actor is at the time. But my realistic answer is probably like Michael Cera or Pete Davidson. That feels a little bit more on track with my life. Pete Davidson actually is kind of relevant right now with all the people that he's dating. So I'm going to go Pete Davidson.
Okay. Good deal. Last question for you. If you could have dinner with anyone, whether they're living or not living, whether they're famous or not, who would you have dinner with and why?
Who would I have dinner with? It'd probably be someone either famous or who has passed away. Just because anyone else that I want to get dinner with, I would probably just go make it happen.
Right. That's fair.
That's such a good question. It's so tricky. Because there's a million answers. I would probably go with someone who could help me in the life that I'm living now. So maybe like, I was going to say Bill Belichick, but I don't know if that would be good conversation. Maybe Andy Reid. That would be a fun one. Just to kind of pick his brain. Maybe talk trash to him about the Bengals beating him once or twice. So that would kind of be my selection, I guess.
Awesome. Well, whenever you have time, maybe later on in the season or maybe in the off season, I'd love to have you back on because I have like 400 other questions for you.
Sounds good. Anytime. You just let me know when you need me.
All right. 2 more things. Do you have any questions for me?
I want to hear who you're going to dinner with, Ashley.
I said 2 people. my father, who's no longer with us,
Yep,
just to kind of let him know the things that I've accomplished. I finally listened to him on a few things, you know.
that's a
I
great
finally,
answer.
yeah, finally see what he was talking about because I was too, I guess, just wasn't
Hmm.
in the right mind frame. He was alive, but, um, and then Michael Jackson because
Michael Jackson, that's such an
I
interesting one.
I wanted to marry Michael Jackson when I was 5 years old.
Uh-huh.
I married A. Jackson, but it wasn't Michael.
I was going to
But
say, you wouldn't even have to change your last name.
there you go. But he was such a good soul for the world, and
Hmm.
I just love the way he affected everybody. You know.
Sure.
So, but
That's a
yeah,
good
those.
answer.
Thanks, appreciate it. Was that all?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, no worries.
I think I probably could come up with a couple more, but I think those are the only two on the top of my head.
Hey, no worries, man. Like I said, we'll have more time together. So
Perfect.
I am going to give you the last word, so you can either sing a song, or you can recite a poem or a quote, or you can just give us a simple shout out. But right now, Andy, the floor is yours.
I appreciate that. No, I'm not. I don't have any songs or poems prepared. I know that lets a lot of people down. Maybe if I actually was Ray Bentley, that's what I would do. No, I just want to shout out, all of our team. I already kind of gave our office and our coaching staff a lot of credit, but they, always deserve it, not necessarily myself or anyone else on our franchise. It's really them who kind of keep things going. So, per Coco and Curtis and James Walters and anyone else who's kind of helped us with that. Mark Lopez is big on the stat side along with James. So those guys are doing a great job. And then, we have a lot of very, quiet, more unsung, players who do a lot and are loud in our locker room. So, Zach Lay, Michael Lister, Earl Fields the fourth. We have a ton of guys, Justice Blackwell, Cabron Womack. Like, you don't see these guys a lot in public, but they're there, they're looking, they're watching, and they're just as excited as anyone else. They kind of keep more to themselves. That's kind of our way as a team. But I'm just so happy to kind of have the team that we do and the people that we do in our locker room, Achilles, and Gerald Giudice and a lot of those guys, Mike Coverson. So I'm just really grateful for the team that we have in this league that we have and the whole community at large. So I'm really thankful for that and thankful for you, Ashley, and all the kind of content creators that we have and people working hard. There's so much these days I can't even keep track of. I used to never be able to miss anything SFL related because I would watch it immediately, and now I don't have enough hours in the year to keep track of it all. So I'm very thankful that that's the case now, and we're continuing to grow. So that's awesome.
Indeed, and you're very welcome. It for those that are quiet on your team, please let them know if they ever want to get their story out there. If they ever just want a nice place to chill and just be themselves, tell them to come see me. I'll be happy to, kind of showcase, their talents and everything. So, but this was a good conversation, man. I can't wait to have more.
Awesome. Sounds good, Ashley. Thank you for the time.
Anytime. All right. See you soon. Good luck.
See you. Thank you.
What is up, SFL Nation? Welcome back to my fourth and goal interviews featuring two good friends of mine, Mr. Simien. He is the owner for the Houston Headhunters, as well as their Hall of Fame wide receiver. And then I also have Mr. Eddie Gage. He is the owner. Oh, I'm sorry, and Damon is also head coach of his team as well.
Is he?
And
Is
know
he?
they threw it out there. Does Houston need a coaching change? You know, there's been lingering.
ooh,
I heard he just
I mean-
submitted his playbook and said, "Cam, no changes from here on out."
stop it. And then I have Senior Eddie Gage. He is co-owner,
Co-owner.
coach, Hall of Fame strong safety for the Arizona Scorpions. Gentlemen, how y'all doing tonight?
You hear that, DeMar? Hall of Fame, strong safety. That's what she said.
I'm doing great, but I'm co-owner as well. You know?
Oh, I'm sorry. I Mike, forgive me, because I know he gonna probably DM me about that. Like,
You see what happened? Mike,
well, I mean,
Mike been absent this season, so you kind of forgot about him.
yeah. Don't forgive me, but that is kind of true.
See,
But no, man. What's up with you fellas? How y'all doing?
Doing great. Anytime you
good.
come off a win, you're always gonna see a smile on somebody's face.
Okay.
He's fine for sure.
Listen, well fought wins, well fought victories as well, Joe. It's been a heck of a season. I think this has probably been one of the most competitive seasons that I've seen since I've been here since season 12. Would y'all agree? Because y'all know both of y'all been around for a very long time.
Yeah, it has been very competitive. I mean, you're absolutely correct on that. You know, it's. I mean, you're seeing teams that was, not gonna say bottom of the pole last season, but teams that was like in that middle of the pack. Has creeped up and became, some pretty nice. Have some pretty nice records this season. I mean, you take Atlanta, for example. I mean, they're the number one team in the league, and they was. Atlanta didn't even make the playoffs last season, right?
Right.
Yeah, and I mean, it's just crazy how, things can flip just like that. You take a team like Houston who made the playoffs and basically on the outside, looking in, trying to win out to get in, so it's a very interesting season to say.
all credit to Joshua Williams over there in Atlanta, because we all know Mark had nothing to do with that turnaround. That's all Joshua Williams right there.
Oh my God, the shade.
Fire.
The shade.
I'm just saying, man. I'm just trying to give credit what credit is due. I mean, Mark, he all right, you know what I'm saying? He halfway decent. He got a ring in season 14 off luck, you know what I'm saying? But now that it's, there's more coaches in the league that spend more time and dedicated to it, he had to get some help. And he did the right thing and brought Josh over, you know what I'm saying? I mean, no shot at Mark, I'm just saying, he lucked up and got a ring back then.
He's
But
lucked up. Lucked up. See, I know he gonna DM me instantly talking about, hey, I want to be on your next show. I got a response for this. But yeah, it really has been. And speaking of wins, both of our teams managed to win our game in some comfortable fashion, but some of it was not comfortable. I mean, like, I know for Arizona's game, I was on pins and needles the entire time. And what I noticed from coaches that have been a part of the league for so long, watching certain games are just like chess magic. And they're so close. You think that it's going to go one way. And then I know that you guys kind of talk like after your playbooks are submitted, and then you kind of have an idea about what the teams are going to be doing. But I'm wondering, in your talks with the other coaches, if you did, Demond, I don't know if you talked to
I don't talk to nobody.
No, okay. So well, I know for Eddie, I know you
during the season.
No?
I don't talk to ops during the season.
Oh, oh my God.
Only time I speak to my opponent is on Wednesday night. I'll send them a DM asking them which uniform they're wearing versus us, so that we won't have any clash, especially if their colors are similar to ours.
Gotcha.
Well, like take Baltimore for example. When we played Baltimore, Baltimore came out there black and gold, and we were going to wear black and gold that week. So it was a good thing that I did ask them what they were wearing, so we wouldn't wear the same colors or so. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Y'all be really confused.
Exactly.
So I was going to ask, do you guys trust what the other person is saying to you? Like they say, hey, man, I took this out of my playbook. I took this, or I added this. How do you know if these guys are really telling the truth until you actually see it play out on the field?
I mean, at that point, the book is submitted. They don't have a reason to lie.
Yeah, even if it's just
true. That's true. That's true, Eddie. But they could just be lying just to pull you along and have you thinking that they've submitted one thing and they've they pulled something out and they didn't do it or so, just to have you on edge or whatever. I don't believe anything nobody's saying. I as the old saying goes, a pair of lips to say anything. So
I guess.
Yeah, I was just wondering. I was actually wondering about that, Devon. Like, if you do try to throw off your opponent by saying that you did something so they can be.
But what's the throw off if the book is already submitted? What's the point?
I used to do it a lot. Like Shan.
Mind games.
Yeah, like Shan used to.
The book already submitted. The mind game is over with.
You're right, but I don't need him knowing what's in my playbook at all.
But he gonna see it on game day.
He can watch you see it on game day. I'm not telling you nothing beforehand. No, not at all.
Yes.
So, gentlemen, talking about your games that everybody just won. What was your favorite plays or play, or how did you give me like an overall synopsis in your words about how your game went?
Well, shit. Which one for me? I mean,
No, the one that we just played. The one that y'all just played.
I know, that's what I'm talking about. I mean,
which play? Gotcha.
My player personally, I mean, had some outstanding touchdowns. Yeah, he had 3 touchdowns. So, but I'm gonna say
your player had 830 of the 850 yards passing Dave Burr had. What's up with that, man? You gonna get your other players the ball or what, man? I mean, he had 830 of the 850 yards. The other 20 went to GP off screen passes, man.
Hey, that was the purpose coming into the season, and that's why we have lost so many games trying to get everybody else involved.
So you gotta get the ball to your best player. Hey, that's what's up, man.
No, man, I'm just kidding. But no, the game we just played, I have to say the overall play of the defensive line. If you watch that game, if you watch it live, if you go back and watch it, our defensive line played great from the jump. I mean, the first possession, they was on Lakeman, the first drive for Queen City, and man, it was on his butt all night long. And to be able to shut down Jet Zero, the way that we did, because that was a redemption for the defense compared to the previous week versus Carolina. We gave up I think 134 yards to Ike McBride when, that's something that defensively we take the heart that we don't want nobody gaining that type of yardage on us, defensively when it comes to running the ball. So I felt pretty good in reference to how our defense played.
Okay, good deal. Eddie?
He was talking so long. What was the question again?
My bad.
Stop it. What was your favorite part about your game that was played between Arizona and the Dragons? Besides winning, of course.
Well, first of all, shout out to Jermaine Smith, owner and defensive coordinator of the Dragons. I hate playing, my closest friends in the league. It's always tough playing them because, unfortunately, one of us have to lose. And, you don't ever want it to be yourself, but you don't ever want to see them take an L either. So, first of all, shout out to him. But my favorite play would probably be late in the fourth quarter when I believe it was third down, it was third and long, and we were on like our 35-yard or their 35-yard line, and you made a throw under some serious duress, and Connor Weston caught it for a first down at like the 3-yard line. That was your best throw of the night because you had 2 defenders practically in your lap. And one of them was like really right next to you, ready to hit you. And you kept your eyes downfield, focused on your responsibilities, ignored the pass rush, got that ball off to Connor, and that pretty much helped us win that ball game or get back in a position to tie the ball game because that throw was money in the bank, man.
Yeah. And not only did she have two players in her lap, I mean, with the ball placement, between coverage as well. I think there was two defenders in the vicinity of the receiver when you made that pass. I mean, yeah, that was a ball, man. That was a gutsy throw, but it was an amazing throw, though.
Man, like I said, I was on game. I was pins and needles. There was a few passes that were completed.
Kudos to 9mm.
Thank you. By the way, Devon was the first person that actually gave me 9mm as
I know. Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, that game was one of the best, if not the best game that I probably seen all season up to this point. I mean, because we were on the ropes, and to have all of that happen the way it did, and there's a few passes that made me so nervous. Like I knew they were interceptions. That was one of them. And I was just like, oh, well, you're ready to go ahead and do another 10, another 20, but for some reason that magic happened. And that's the beauty of AI. That's the beauty of watching these games sometimes, is that when it works out for you, it could be, magical at times. But are there any plays that occurred during the Queen City game and, Dragons that you wish you would have had back?
Yeah, we threw 2 picks. I mean, anytime you throw an interception, that's the play for sure you wanna get back. I think we had a fumble as well. Yeah, we did have a fumble. We had a fumble, man. It should have been an incomplete pass. But yeah, the interception and the turnovers, those are the plays that I wish we could get back. Because we had some on the interception. We had a great drive that we were putting together, but eventually end up turning the ball over and giving it away. So those are the ones that I wish that we could take back for sure.
Gotcha. Nettie?
Of course, the pick on the first play of the game for our offense, we threw a pick. And I just said, oh, it's going to be one of these. And honestly, as soon as we lined up, I knew it was, either this play or this play, whatever. And when I saw how far back the DBs were, I was just praying as a run play. I'm like, please hand this ball to DJ. Please hand this ball to DJ. And when you drop back and threw it, I already knew it was going to be problematic because I think they were in 4-3-3 strong. So I saw Will got bumped off his route, so he wasn't going to be an option. So he's going to throw it either deep on a fade to TJ Pump or the deep post route, skinny post to Connor Weston. And both of them were covered. I knew it because they, like I said, man, dude, I don't know if you saw it, Demond, but they lined up like 15 yards off the ball. I'm like, what the hell going on? And now if it was 3rd and 3, I needed a little short out route, they'd be right in my lap.
Yeah.
But so as soon as he threw it, I knew that was going to be problematic. So that one, I regret it. I think that's pretty much it. Oh, and the long run we gave to Kevin Say. I think there's a 3rd quarter or 4th quarter, I forget. It was in the second half. We gave that long run off that stretch play. And it's crazy because I put the 4-4 defense in this week. And I do it, sporadically. I don't always do it, but I put it in this week to try to put some attention on him. And he ended up burning us on that side. And as soon as we lined up, and I saw how Gage was lined up inside the tackle, I'm like, oh, if this is a stretch play, he might be out of there. And sure enough, he was. And but thank God for Diggs, who just got closing speed. He's able to drag him down from behind. And but they end up scoring anyway. So, it is what it is. And it's crazy that going back to that interception, that play been in our playbook all season. And for whatever reason, we hardly ever called it. But this game, we called that play twice. So I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah, I remember you explaining that to me. Like you can add things. And I might as well go ahead and tell everybody. Okay.
Oh my God.
Yep. So, Devon, this is perfect because you're a coach,
Mhm.
so I know you'd understand. I've been asking Eddie to change up. We're not going to say which team we're going to be doing this with or if we even do it at all, but I've been asking him to allow me to scramble because I think allowing your quarterback to show, or your offense, I should say, to show a different wrinkle in things, could kind of confuse your opponents because they're not expecting that. And then I look at Julian Tyree, I look at JQ over there in Tulsa, and I notice that they scramble. So like, why can't I? What's the problem? His thing is, oh, I don't want you getting hurt. I want you to stay behind the red sea. Things like
Facts.
that.
That is,
And my
go ahead.
Go ahead.
and my thing is, like, I think that you don't add it to every single week. And you
Mhm.
just said that the play that the one of the plays that we added to our playbooks only got called twice.
It's
And
been
we
all
typically
season. We just hardly ever called it for some reason.
right. So, Demond, what are your thoughts on quarterback scramble?
I'm with Eddie on this one. And now hear me out.
Okay.
There was a game, I want to say it was last season or either in season 18. Julian Tyree do that, goes on a quarterback sneak. Now, this is a design quarterback sneak.
Design
Okay?
quarterback sneak.
And he gets hurt and he's out the entire game.
Out
And
of
Sioux
there.
Falls loses this game. I think this game had playoff implications on it, if I'm not mistaken, or whatever. But it has some meaning to the game. The number one quarterback gets hurt, who is now the all-time leading passer in SFL history.
On the bench.
And he's out, because he wants to, the head coach wants to have the quarterback doing QB sneaks. Now he's out with a pinched nerve in his back, because he can't do a baseball slide.
Right. And the backup in the game throwing terrible passes.
Yeah, I mean, now as a player, I can understand where you're coming from. That you want to see your player do other things outside of just drop back, dumping it off. But hey, you got to look at this. Every play, the ball is in your hand.
Every play.
Every play. But you also have to take into consideration how dumb APF is. And what I mean by that is APF doesn't allow the quarterback to scramble all the time when they're under pressure. Now, when we go to 2K4, you're gonna run up a whole lot. Because one thing about the AI intelligence in that game is that the quarterback will say, okay, I'm under pressure. I'm not just going to sit here and hold the ball. They're going to run. Eddie don't like when someone mentioned 2K4, but that's just something he's going to have to get over and live with because APF is dead after this season, with the NFL. But you still got your copy, though. You can still, download some rosters and stuff like that. Or update the roster. You can still run you some Sims on APF.
Whatever.
I guess I get it. I mean, I understand.
And I like I said, I get it because Dave Burr even reached out to me and say, hey man, can we work on, my speed and stuff like that? I was like, well,
for what?
Why? The quarterback doesn't run in this game,
Every now and then.
Yeah, exactly. But hey, to each their own,
All I know is that number one, it doesn't take for me to actually be scrambling to go out here and get hurt because London knocked the wind out of me during the playoff games last season where T-Pat was just snapping in the chat about it,
Well, see, you know what? There isn't any backup quarterbacks in this league also, And
you running just giving you more of a chance to get hurt. Yeah, you get hurt in the pocket, but you take off running, you got even more of a chance to get hurt. Sit your butt back there behind the Red Sea and chill. Throw the ball. Your job is to throw the ball downfield, not taking off running with it. That's DJ's job.
Wait. Time out. Flag on the play. Penalty.
Oh my God.
Illegal procedure. Eddie Gage just called your offensive line the Red Sea.
That's their nickname.
Why?
Because they part holes for DJ to run the ball through.
Where if they protecting the quarterback, they got to come up with a different name to protect the quarterback, because if they giving up, if they splitting holes, somebody coming through there to hit on your quarterback now.
No.
You gotta call them the Great Wall of China or something like that. If that's if they need a name, the Red Sea for your offensive line. I don't think that's a good one, man.
I'll tell him you said that.
I mean, I can understand it. Your team colors are red, and they want to part holes for the running back. That's cool, But nah, for Asher Jackson, they got to be called something else. The Great Wall of China, the Steel Mill of Arizona, the Great Canyon providers or sun protectors. I don't know.
We'll work on that. We'll get back to you.
Right.
Yeah, exactly.
So, top 10 per the website as of right now, and if this is wrong, gentlemen, please correct me. Top 10 teams in the league are number 1, Atlanta, sitting at 7-0. Man, don't worry about it, guys. I'll keep going. Atlanta is number 1, sitting at 7-0. Las Vegas is sitting at 5-1. Arizona 5-1 and number 3. Baltimore
6-1.
So yeah, it hasn't been updated yet.
Yeah,
they haven't updated just only yesterday's game hasn't been updated yet.
So I'm looking. Okay, got it. So everything else is right there. So 6-1 for the Scorpions. Baltimore is sitting at 5-1. Mexico City is at 5-2, sitting at number 5. Minnesota Legends are 5-2. San Diego Mavericks are 5-2. They're at the number 7 seed. Tulsa is sitting at 5-2, number 8 seed. Carolina 4-2, the 9th seed, and the fourth total is running out the top 10, 4-2. So, gentlemen, we have a lot of teams that are sitting at 5-2. We have quite a few teams. Well, a couple teams are sitting at 4-2. Do any of these teams surprise you to be in the top 10
right? Yeah. You said in the top 10?
Mm-hmm.
Only? Yeah, I'm very surprised with the play of San Diego and the play of Carolina. Those two teams didn't make the playoffs last season. Well, Carolina did, right?
They did not.
They didn't make it? Okay, yeah. Well, see Carolina make it, be in the top 10, playoff bound and contentions this season shows a lot from the preparation of game planning that they put into this system during the offseason. And San Diego, I mean, that team was, as the term the league loves to use, a dumpster fire last season. And I don't mean that in reference, front office wise or anything like that, or I don't know what happened back, behind the scenes, but that team wasn't winning ball games last season. I mean, they were putting up points, they just weren't closing out games. And now San Diego is one of the teams to be reckoned with now. You got some people, that are like, man, I don't think I want to play San Diego, because they really putting up some points. If you look at it, they've already scored 228 points so far. And if I'm not mistaken, I think that is number 1 in the league. It's 228 points. They have the number 1 scoring offense, and Scar Patterson basically picked up where he left off last season, putting up outstanding numbers in the passing game.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Eddie?
Atlanta, I'm not surprised because they're season 14 champions and the core of that team is still present. And Swole has been, this is like his coming out party this season so far. Granted, it's a long season, but he is showing everyone that he deserves to get some credit for his defensive prowess thus far. Mm-hmm. Vegas has known to start slow and then get hot late. But this season, they've done just the opposite, They should have lost that game versus Queen City, but they came back and won that game. But in every other game, they've been impressive. When they impressed me is when they went to San Diego in their house and beat them at their own game. You know, it was a high-scoring affair, and they came away with the victory. So when they got that win, I knew that Vegas was a team that had to be reckoned with. I thought it was going to be a mistake to move John Blaze to tight end and promote Doug Braden to the number one receiver, but he is showing improvement to everyone that he belongs. So shout out to them for making that move and having confidence that it would work. Baltimore, of course, no surprise there. Mexico City, am I going to say I'm surprised? No, because they have great coaching, but I thought it would be an adjustment period, not necessarily losing Matt Wilson, because they got Jordan Sipe and his build is pretty good. So I was pretty confident that it wouldn't be too much of a transition there. But what did surprise me was the fact that they lost Mike Daggs and this offense is still productive. You know what I'm saying? So to see that happen, coaching wise, no. Talent wise, yes. I'm a bit surprised. Minnesota, no, because I saw that coming. Even though they're an expansion franchise, they drafted and recruited a championship defense that's going to keep them in every game. And we saw just this past week against Seattle. So I'm not surprised by them at all. San Diego, I'm not surprised by them either, because yes, they had a great offense and a horrific defense last season. Charles is now coaching that team. And like I told everyone in the preseason who would listen, Charles is the same coach who went into Florida, who back then was still coached by Max Paul, and got a win in their house in Florida. Not an easy thing to do. So when that win in their house solidified that Charles is legit, so I'm not surprised at all by San Diego. Tulsa, maybe they pissed off about going 7-5 last season and missing out on the playoffs. So if there's any team I would say I'm surprised about, maybe it's them. But, I guess I should say not really, because they won 7 games. I mean, but then again, it's a long season. Carolina is the dark horse because they have Shan Varner, and for the first time since he's come back to coaching, he's got a power running back, something he's always wanted and never had. I won't say he hates finesse backs, but he prefers power backs. It's his first season having one, so no, I'm not going to say I'm surprised about them either. That win they got over DC in DC, beating them at their own game, dominating time possession, proved that Carolina is a team that needs to be reckoned with.
Okay. Now, quickly, so I can get to fun questions I have for y'all. We're going to go through each division, and I want you to name who you think will take the division at the end of the season.
Oh, boy.
All right.
I'll let Damon go first.
Pacific Division. We have Vancouver, Portland, Seattle, and Los Angeles. Vancouver is currently leading the division for 1-3.
I'm going to say Vancouver still this division.
Okay. Why is that?
I mean, you look at Portland. Although Portland's sitting right there, number 2.
Mm-hmm.
Look at the amount of points Portland has already given up. They have already given up 205 points. You can't give up that many points. You're giving up more points than you've scored 4. You only scored 183.
Yeah.
Until they tighten up that defense, we all know that Portland, have had good defense in the past. But if you're giving up, that many points, defensively, that's. I mean, they're scoring 26, but they're giving up 29 points a game. So you can't give up more points per game than what you're scoring. I mean, you're not going to win like that. But on the other hand, you look at Vancouver, they're scoring 25 and they're only giving up 22.5 points per game. So that's why I say Vancouver. I mean, I just look at the numbers. I'm not an analytic guy, but numbers don't lie. So
there you go. There you go. What about you?
I'm in agreement with Damon. Ever since the divisions were realigned, Vancouver has won the division every season. And I get, it's crazy because the second they clinch the division, all of a sudden in their team store, you see them create that same t-shirt. We run the Pacific, you know, the second they clinch the division. And until proven otherwise, you got to go with them. Although they are having a down season, losing 3 games already, I think this division is theirs to take. Well, Portland is right there in their hip pocket. They can't sleep on them.
Yeah.
Okay. Gotcha. In the West, we have Las Vegas Fury, 5-1. Arizona Scorpions, 5-1. San Diego Mavericks, 5-2. And Denver, 2-4. Gentlemen, who's going to take the West?
This one is crazy to me because if you look at the top 2 teams in this division, Vegas and Arizona are neck and neck at points per game and points against per game. I mean, points against is only separated by 2 points. You both are scoring 34 points per game, but I am going to say that I got to go with the team that has the better defense, and I truly believe that Arizona has the better defense, and I'm going to say that Arizona sneaks out of here with the division, but it's going to have to come at a cost, and that cost is you got to take care of business versus San Diego.
Indeed.
Yeah,
Eddie?
because if y'all don't, that's going to put y'all neck and neck, and then they're going to have the head-to-head of you guys, and then you already have lost versus Vegas as well. So I think Arizona wins the division with a win over San Diego this weekend. Sorry to put that pressure on you, Eddie.
So you mentioned Vegas and Arizona, and you kind of pointed out San Diego as well. Man, this is, to me, it's not just Vegas and Arizona. This is a 3-team race. San Diego is right there. Like you said, if they win this weekend, they have the head-to-head over us. And, you know, so, and we'll both have the same record. So this is a big game for both these 2 teams. And I'm sure Vegas will be right there watching as well. It's a 3-headed race, man. Oh, of course I'm going to pick us because, you know, I'm not going to say Vegas going to win it or San Diego going to win anything like that. As tight as this division is, imagine how tight it would be if Jeremy was still coaching. Oh, my God, bro.
Yeah.
It'd be this would be easily the toughest division, if it's not already the toughest division in the SFL. So, of course, I'm going to pick us, but, man, we got our work out for us because we still got to play Vegas again, and we got to play San Diego this week. So,
and we have Baltimore on the schedule too. So,
yeah, thank God. So do those 2 teams. Go Baltimore that week. I'm gonna be Baltimore's biggest fan that week.
In the South, Mexico City sitting at 5-2. Fort Worth Toros is at 4-2. Alamo City's 4-3, and Houston is at 2-5.
The crazy thing is that all these teams, you know, came out with a victory this week. But let's stick to the question. I said Mexico City pulls it out. Now Houston can make a strong push, you know, to get back into things. We still have 2 games versus Alamo City, which will be key victories for Houston if we can pull that out. That can push us right back into things, and you know, if we get a few losses for some of these teams as well. But man, I mean, Fort Worth is looking strong as well on a 3-game win streak, and Fort Worth scores the most points per game out of all 4 teams, and
that's crazy.
Number 2. Yeah, it's crazy. I mean, Mexico City only scores 23 points per game, and they give up 20. You know, that's kind of ludicrous that they don't score a lot of points, you know, and they give up 20 points a game. And they you know, they haven't even broke over 180 points, you know, for the season, sitting at 167. But yeah, but that defense, you only giving up 20 points. I mean, that's the range where I like to be, around 17, anywhere between 17 to 20 points. I'm allowing a game because I want to score somewhere in that 34, 35 points per game area, but we've only been scoring 22. So,
well, at least you know what you got to do, Coach. You get it together.
Oh yeah. You saw we just put up, 38.
Exactly.
Got to take care of business. So.
All right.
This division has always been one of the tightest. Every week it seems, or every season it seems like this division comes down to week 14, and it's probably going to do so again this season. Mexico City is winning with their defense. Like I said earlier, they're learning how to win without Mike Daggs. They have a younger roster than they're than they're accustomed to playing with this season. But Ramos is getting it done, man, and can't sleep on them. At 5-2, they are right now. And I was talking to him this past offseason, and he was worried about the first half of the season because he has a younger core than he's accustomed to having. And now, I don't know, it's going to be tough. Fort Worth, that strength of victory over Baltimore is going to, at some point, make a difference or play a part in how this plays out, I believe. They're sitting currently one game behind Mexico City because they had that bye. Alamo City is right there. Never want to count out Houston because they've been known to be a second half of the season team when they start to figure things out. So if I had to point my finger on it right now, it would be hard for me to not lean towards Mexico City. But that win Fort Worth got over Baltimore. We'll see what this does for them. My only concern with them is, are they going to be productive the rest of the season with a young J.Z. Bacon as their starting tailback?
Good point.
I mean, you make a great point there, Eddie, because if you look at Fort Worth's remaining schedule, they got London.
Got a tough schedule.
They got London this week. Then they got Mexico City.
Twice.
And they got Canton. I'm pretty sure they can squeeze out a victory there. But that March 19th and April 16th, those Mexico City games are going to be key games for both of those two teams.
Because y'all beating each other up in that division, man. It's crazy.
Yeah. Let them beat each other up. I'm just going to try to coast my way on through.
Okay. I feel that.
I hear that.
In the North, London Knights sitting at 3-3. Canton Classics at number 2 at 3-4. And Motor City V8s number 3 at 2-5. And Queen City still looking for their first win, 0-7.
I see London. That's the only team that I can say for sure that I see, being productive to come out of here with the victory. You're not going to win any division scoring 13.7 points per game. And that's speaking of the Canton Classics. I don't care what league you're in. If you're not putting up points, you're not going to win very much. As we can see, they're on a 2-game losing streak. They give up 22 points per game. So, that's basically shuts them out right there for me. And they've only scored 96 points on the entire season. What week we in? Week 8, going into week 9?
Yeah.
That's crazy. But this is London's division to lose. That's all I'm going to say.
Okay.
And they got Fort Worth this week. So we'll see how London do versus Fort Worth. And, that basically can inform us as far as what London will do, with regards to this division. But I see London winning the division.
Okay. Gotcha. Eddie?
Personally, I'm not going to count out Canton. I know they only scoring 14 points a game, but I'm going to tell you why. Of the 4 teams in their division, they give up the least points per game by a long shot. They're giving up 22 points a game. So the differential is about 9 points. the differential between them, between Motor City and what they're giving up is about 8.5. London,
comparing to the 2000 Ravens?
No, not at all. London is even. They give up the most points a game, but they're also scoring the most points a game. So it's a long season. I don't want to count out any of those three teams. Ken's offense, like you said, though, has to improve. 13.7 points a game is just not going to get it done. So they got some work to do. So to me, this is the division where it's almost too early to tell.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I'm not going to count out Motor City either. I just can't.
Okay.
I can't.
Too early to tell.
I'm gonna tell you like this. When it comes to Motor City, I can't see the remaining of their schedule, but I know the Motor City starts playing the South towards the back end of the season. So they got Mexico City. I know they got Houston coming up for sure. I don't see Fort Worth, nor I don't see that they've played Fort Worth, nor have they played Alamo City as of yet. Or they just played Alamo City last week.
Yeah.
But yeah, they got a tough back end of the schedule here.
Okay. So in the East, undefeated Swarm 7-0, Louisiana Revolution 4-3, Florida Storm 2-5, and Jacksonville 2-5.
I mean, this is Atlanta to lose. I'm going to pick Atlanta to win this division. But man, these are some tough teams in this division, man. You got guys that have been deep into the playoffs, championships in this division here. But yeah, I'm going to give this one to Atlanta.
Okay. Eddie, feel the same?
The loss Louisiana just suffered versus Tulsa was, they needed that one. But that said, Mark does coach the offense over there in Atlanta, so I'm going to give this one to Louisiana to win the division. No, I'm just playing.
I was getting ready to say.
I was saying, what?
I'm just playing. I'm not going to count Louisiana out yet because they still play Atlanta. And Louisiana has been Atlanta's kryptonite, like Vegas has been our kryptonite. So for Louisiana to come back and have a shot, they got to win that game. But as it stands right now, this is Atlanta's division by far to win.
Okay.
In Louisiana should bounce back this week. They got Seattle. They traveled to the Pacific.
Seattle almost beat Minnesota this past week.
Northwest. Yeah, I mean, true, but
dude, the look on your face, like
when you talk about a 2-5 team, so Now, I don't know. Go ahead. Next, let's move on.
They about to throw a Twinkie at you, dog.
Okay, you better duck.
Yeah.
The Atlantic Division consists of Baltimore sitting at 5-1, Carolina 4-2, DC Dragons at 2-4, and Charleston at 1-6.
Baltimore.
Okay.
Has Baltimore played Carolina yet?
That I'm not sure.
Let me see.
I don't think so.
I don't think so either.
Baltimore has not played Carolina. They played Carolina. Looks like week 13. Yeah.
I'm gonna say Baltimore, but Carolina, man, they better not sleep on them.
I mean, man, look at Carolina. Look at Baltimore's remaining schedule. They got Denver, they got San Diego, Arizona, Carolina, then Vegas. They're gonna beat Denver for sure. That San Diego game could be up in the air. That could be a what you call that?
Trap game.
A trap game? Yeah. That could be a trap game there. And I wouldn't say Arizona's a trap game, but Arizona can most definitely put point for point with Baltimore, as we saw in the championship game. So
Ugh.
Baltimore can have a tough stretch. Then they got Carolina after Baltimore. Yeah, you got to stop that two-headed monster with Carolina, dog. You don't stop Mike McBride and Hanzo.
Yeah.
You can kiss that game goodbye.
Yeah.
Eddie, what about you?
Baltimore until they prove otherwise. But like I said,
I mean, they
Carolina
score
right
the most. They score the most points in the division. Sorry to cut you off, Eddie, and they give up the least amount.
You cut me off all the time on the broadcast. I'm used to it, dog.
All right, yeah, I'll let you do all the talking Friday night. I'll let you do all the talking. Hey, I'm gonna do you like Martin did Gina when she came on his show. When Cole told him, "Don't say nothing, Martin." don't. Gina don't know how to run a radio show. She ain't gonna know what to say or do. Don't say.
Classic. Oh my God, classic.
Yeah.
Last division, guys, is Central Division. Minnesota Legends 5-2, Tulsa 5-2, Indianapolis Ramblers 4-3, and Sioux Falls at 3-4. Whew.
My heart hurt it when I was about to say this. I'm gonna say Tulsa gonna win this division. They still have to play
Minnesota.
Atlanta. They still have to play Atlanta. They got Portland this week. And they got Minnesota the next following week. And they got the Ramblers. Ooh, this may be tough. I may have to switch up on this. It's a tough schedule here. My goodness. Yeah. Minnesota got Atlanta this week. I mean, and Tulsa got Portland. Portland is scoring 30 points a game and only giving up 22. That's outstanding defensive wise. But I'm gonna stick with Tulsa.
Okay.
I know BJ gonna DM me.
Ain't that your former teammate, your former GM, dog?
Man, I gotta go with the numbers.
All right, then. Eddie?
I mean, they're close. They close though. Don't get me wrong, they close.
Very.
Man, BJ, my guy. Best middle linebacker in the SFL. Man, but Tulsa this season, when you shut out Louisiana 28 to, what was the score?
0.
20, was it 26-0 or 28 to 0?
28-0.
When you shut out Louisiana, even with the backups in, they didn't give up I think they intercepted the pass the backups did. Oh, this might come down to the last couple weeks of the season.
Oh my goodness, I'm sorry. I'm laughing at the DM I just got.
Is talking about me talking too much?
Nah, take a look at our group chat.
Okay. I'm gonna say, bro, I gotta roll with Minnesota, but Tulsa right there, man. Tulsa is right there.
I'm sorry. I'm back. That's funny, bro. Oh my goodness.
Oh my God. No, he didn't. I'm gonna say Minnesota, but Tulsa right there.
Gotcha. Sorry, guys, we're not privy as to what they're laughing at. I don't even know if we should be. I don't know if I'm gonna be getting some stuff come across my desk later, so We don't even
No,
need to
you
know.
good. You good.
But all right, guys. So that was fun and very insightful, especially coming from two coaches, that been in the league for a long time. Speaking of which, since you guys have been in the league for so long, and when you guys were actually together on the same team, did you guys butt heads a lot? Like when it came to game planning? I know,
Uh-oh.
Eddie, you were on, doing the defensive side of the things. Demai was offense. So, how did y'all
So
butt heads?
we only had I'm not gonna say it was a disagreement. It was a fallout once. We never had any type of disagreement when it came to game planning. Um, One, because I gave Eddie 100% control over the defense. Whatever he adds, I would just basically give him feedback as far as what I was seeing in my sims, and he would do the same for me. With the offense, he was like, "Hey man, I noticed that we threw a pick on this game, or this happened, or whatever." So, I think you may want to take a look at it. And I'll tell him, I'll say, Eddie, that 3 strong and that 3 weak, man. I don't know about it this week. And Eddie be like, all right, man. He say, let me take a look at it. Let me see what I see on my end, and I'll let you know. And we worked great together. Our fallout came. Eddie was on the road. This one Eddie was working on the road. Eddie was on the road. Eddie say it was a Monday. Was a Monday or Tuesday night? It was. Can't remember what it was. Eddie say, hey man, we need to have a team meeting, a front office meeting. And so I was like, all right, cool. I'll set it up. So I set up the meeting. I want to say it was a Tuesday night. And me, Eddie, BJ, I think it was just the three of us.
Kentez.
Was it Kentez? Yep, it was Kentez as well. Eddie say, man, something got changed. Something like he just kept saying something got to change. I mean, this was when we were losing this season. I mean, we were losing bad. And this was the season where
We
we
was 2-7 at that time.
Yeah, we were 2-7 at the time. And we loaded up the defense. The defense was playing great. Offense was just playing horrible. Now that team looked like the 2000 Ravens who couldn't put up any points. The defense was just outstanding. And offensively, actually, we only had 3 weapons outside of the quarterback, Kentez. We had 2 receivers, and then we had Warren Murray. We had Sim and we had Leroy Brown, and then we had Warren Murray. So we didn't have any other targets, any key players in the wide receiver market. But the defense was, whew, man, our defense was stacked. Defense was stacked. But Eddie just kept saying, man, something needs to change. I'm like, okay, well, what needs to change? What are you talking about? He goes on, he talk this long span, and then he say, man, I got a DM, man. Somebody say, man, what's up with y'all offense? Okay, so as the offensive coordinator, that's my baby. I'm like, okay, well, who said it? Well, it don't matter who said it. I ain't saying no names or whatever. So now I'm pissed off. Now I'm thinking that Eddie fucking with me, and pardon my French, and I'm thinking that it's coming from Eddie. Eddie is saying this to probably light a fuse underneath me or whatever. And whatever. So I'm like, okay, man, he won't tell me who it is. I'm like, you supposed to be my friend. If you my friend, tell me what's going on. You know what I'm saying? If something's going on, something happens, somebody gonna say something about, you or something you're over, I'm gonna let you know who said it and where it came from. But Eddie, I mean, that's one thing I can say I like about Eddie is that, if you tell him, hey man, keep this between us, he'll hold on to it. You know what I'm saying? He'll lock it down. But I took that personally as a friend. You're not sharing that information with me, and I blew up. I mean, I blew up on Eddie to the point where I woke my wife up. She came out the room. What's wrong? Everything's okay. And I hung up the phone on Eddie and BJ. And I was ticked
You sure
off.
did hang up.
I was ticked off, man. And here's how you know someone is important to you. I couldn't sleep that night. I mean, when I say I couldn't sleep, I could not sleep at all that night. That entire conversation sat on my mind all night long. And I woke up the next day, told my wife I couldn't sleep. She said, that's because you care about him. I was like, man, I don't care about him. Man, forget him. I don't care. I said, you're supposed to be taking my side. Yeah. And my wife, nah, I'm just in the middle. You just asked my opinion, so I'm telling you how I feel or whatever. But and I think that Thursday, I apologized to Eddie. Eddie said, man, I accept your apologies. Like, man, I totally understand. I say, dog, I said, man, I get it. I said, you're right. I mean, the offense sucks, bro. It really does. It sucks right now. And hell, we got in the lab. Eddie, put some things defensively versus our next opponent. I think that next opponent was Chicago. It was Chicago. Chicago was like, they was kicking butt this season. And they were one of the top tier teams, and we ended up beating Chicago, pretty bad, if I'm not mistaken. We ended up beating them pretty bad. The next game we played, who was the next opponent we played?
Florida or Alaska.
Now we played them last. I want to say it was Chicago, Mexico City.
Yeah.
And then we ended up beating Mexico City. Then we ended up beating Alaska, and we ended up squeezing and making it into the playoffs due to strength of victory. Because
we needed a million things to happen, and they all fell in line.
All the dominoes fell in line. Everybody who we needed to win won. And Shane gonna call me and say, "You owe me a thank you." I said, "Well, thank you for what?" Because if I wouldn't have won, you wouldn't have got in. I say, "Man, ain't nowhere in the world you gonna lose that darn game." I said, "You."
Oh man!
But yeah, then we had to play Chicago again in the first round, and we beat Chicago. That was a defensive game. I don't even know how we scored offensively.
I think the final score was like 13-7. Yeah, Garrison had a pick six. Yep.
Yeah. We didn't score offensively that game, and our next opponent was Denver. Denver beat the crap out of us.
Yeah, they beat the brakes off us. Oh my God.
And then Eddie went on Arizona. But yeah, that was the only fallout we ever had. And like a coaching wise, we never had any conflict or, disagreement or so, and that's the thing that I've been thinking of, like when people are saying, "Oh, Demond is hard to work with." How? I don't understand how people say that I'm hard to work with when I got somebody who I gave 100%, control over a certain part of the ball, and we've never had any issues or so, Yeah.
I asked that question because I know that it is difficult for some coaches or some owners to hire coaches and completely take their hands off the playbooks. I'm gonna let y'all do y'all thing. I'm gonna trust you to do, to run the show like I would. How difficult is that for you? Or how difficult would that be if you decided to do that?
For me, with Eddie, I'm giving two people full control over of a playbook, and that was Eddie and Greg Corky, and they both ran the defense. To them, it wasn't as hard for me because I know those guys, and I've been knowing Eddie and Greg since 2012, or 2011 or so. And I know that those guys, specialize in the defense or so. But people who have been coming onto my team, they've been wanting to do offense. Well, offense is my baby, and I'm not ready to give it up yet, And I think that's where the conflict may come in with certain individuals or so who comes over, but these guys don't put in the work. You know what I'm saying? And I just throw that out there. You can't. How can I trust you if you're not putting in the work? But I can say this season, with Mike being away due to work, Greg being away due to him running his business or so, Jason P stepped up tremendously, and I mean, it's something that's being looked into, that, you know, we spoke to him about, him being the DC or so, and, I mean, the training wheels are still on, but
That's funny because he had asked me up and said he wanted to talk about plans for next season, coaching.
that dude ain't going nowhere. He ain't hit Ashley up. You need to stop lying.
I'm just saying, dog. I don't know what it was about. He said, "Hey, Ash, I just want to know what your plans are for next season. I want to coach." And she said, "Well, we're talking all season." He said, "I ain't looking forward to it."
Whatever.
Don't make it be listen.
Whatever.
Don't be.
But yeah, I mean, it's like offense, even when going back to season 7, when I had Alan Drum as my co-offensive coordinator, Alan and I would meet Alan and Corky, we would meet up and we would go over the game plan for the week. And Alan and I would go through the offensive playbook. And I would ask Alan, hey, what you think about this play? Do you think we should remove it this week? Alan was like, oh, I think we should remove this play because you're running a deep post, and Mexico City has those 2 gold safeties back there. And I was like, man, you're thinking scary, but like I said, we would go through the offensive playbook and we would, agree on what should be taken out, what should be left in or so. But when guys came over and they wanted to learn how to, do an offensive playbook, if I can't, we can't meet and go over the playbook, together and collab like a head coach and offensive coordinator does when they put the game plan together, then yeah, there will be some issues, because I'm busting my butt, to make sure that the offense is up to par, and and we can't come up with a schedule, to meet for this thing to work. Then yeah, that can be an issue.
Gotcha. But what about you? Because I know that what Jay hated. He wanted to be more hands-on, and you wouldn't let him really. I mean, you let him do some things, but how difficult is it for you?
Whoa.
How difficult is it for you
Well, we can see
to
what that
just
hands-on look like
back
right now.
up? How difficult is it for you just to back up and let somebody fully take the reins on one side of the ball, and not even both, just one side?
Okay, first of all, let's get one thing straight right now.
Okay.
I didn't prohibit Jay from doing anything. Jay wanted to make a name for himself, just like I wanted to make a name for myself when I left Houston. And he told me it hit him. He told me it hit him when he thought about the reason I left Houston. He told me, because just to refresh the mom's memory, I wanted to make a name for myself. The day we beat Vancouver and Cam and Jeremy was calling the game, and Jeremy said, the mom must be proud. And I'm like, hold on, bro. I'm the defensive coordinator. Am I not proud? I said, okay. It's time for me to make a name for myself. And that's why I wanted a fresh start. Jay had the same thing. Jay said, Eddie, no matter what I do around here, you're always going to be the one getting the credit. And so I totally understand when he said I couldn't do anything but bless him, because it reminded me of what I told Damon. So God bless Jay and his endeavors, and I hope he gets everything that he's asking for, because he's gonna put the work in to get that team where he's trying to get them to go.
Okay, that was half the question. So the other part is,
do I mind sharing it? I do not mind sharing it if, and that's a big if, it's someone who is willing to put the work in. Don't just come over here because you want the title. You got to prove to me that you wouldn't come over here, scout, run sims, test, and retest. You can do that and prove that you learn from mistakes, or it's not a repeated failures based off the same thing because you're just not adapting to what the league is doing and how the league is changing. Then no. But if you're willing to go out here and show and prove and do all of that, I have no problem whatsoever.
Okay. You guys have been around, as I've told you, as I've mentioned before. You've been around the league for a while, and you've seen the league change. You know, probably more than many, more than most. Are there some changes that have been made that you wish that was still around, or have the changes that have been made pretty much been, you know, is pretty good with you? Meaning, so I had to put more perspective on it. I had Andy on the show right before you guys. And he took us down memory lane about how, we used to do the email thing. It wasn't Discord. It was like emails and like Facebook chat and all this kind of stuff. And, you know. So like, are there any aspects that things that we used to do back in the day that you wish that we were still doing? Or is everything all good?
Me, no, because the Facebook and the email thing that was prehistoric. It was horrible. Really on Facebook, it was really horrible because you really couldn't keep up with the conversations that was being had on Facebook. It was just everything was just all over the place. It was lost, and then we ended up moving over to Slack. Now I miss Slack. I'm not gonna lie about that. I do miss Slack because Slack had some things that we could do within Slack.
Like what?
Well, I can send myself a personal DM in Slack, you know.
Open up a notepad. How about that?
Yeah, you're right. You're right about that. But if it's something like let's just say like if I'm watching a game and I screenshot it and I draw out the game or whatever, draw out the play, I can send myself a personal DM. In Discord, I can't do that. So I had to create myself a server to put it there so I can have it or keep it, or I could just save it on my phone or whatever. But yeah, but that was the reason. Yeah, but nah, but I totally understand the reason why the league left Slack and came over to Discord is because one, you could police a lot better in Discord than in Slack.
Mhm.
Slack, we had people that had multiple accounts,
Mm.
meaning they had multiple players in the league or whatever. And, the league could not identify who was who. We had guys who we kicked out, end up coming back in, recreating their player, recreating a player and stuff like that. But in Discord, you can see everybody's IP address. So
Gotcha. That's
yeah,
that's right. Definitely,
yeah.
nip that in the bud. Eddie,
Oh,
anything for you? Oh, go ahead.
one thing. This is what I wish the league would do. This is what I wish the league would do. Get rid of the all-star voting from the community.
He did.
I think all-star voting needs to take place.
Cam does all-star voting now.
He does all-star voting now because
He didn't do it this past season because he got busy. So he had a select.
not only all-star voting, but end of the year awards as well. Because
He did.
We had guys winning awards,
Oh,
all because of what their team did, not their individually stats.
Mm.
I'm just gonna throw it out there. I had two players that didn't win Rookie of the Year because of that. You're gonna give it to Mr. Hennessy, and Mr. Hennessy didn't even break over 1,000 yards rushing that season. You know what I'm saying? I'm saying it with my chest now.
sound like it.
You know.
Okay. Eddie, what about you? Anything you wish that y'all used to do back in the day that y'all could still do right now?
Eddie can't go back too far because he wasn't really dig deep into the league prior to season 10.
That's very true.
Oh, okay. Guess that's fair.
No, I think I'm good though.
You think you're good? Okay. Fun questions now. Now, Eddie, I know that I had you on recently and I asked you some questions. Um, they will be different from, I'm going to ask you both the same questions, but they're going to be different from what I asked you last time. Damon, I probably will ask you one more question that I did ask Eddie because I am interested in your answer.
Mm-hmm.
What family traditions do you both have in your families that you look forward to every year?
That's a good one. There's two for me. One will most definitely have to be Christmas morning. You know, my wife and I, we gather around the tree with the kids, and now that DJ is little, he really don't know what's going on, So that's the funny process. We dress up in matching pajamas and stuff like that or whatever. So that's one there. Okay. Another one is on Easter Sunday. We always we coordinate in colors, So this past Easter, I think we did red or pink or something like that. Okay. Last year, last year, I think it was a red or a pink. One of those two that we dressed up in. Yeah,
like that.
I don't know what the color will be this year.
We take turns going to each other's houses for the holidays. Primarily Thanksgiving, Christmas, stuff like that. When I was in Chicago, 1 year to be, actually, for the most part, honestly, it was always my grandmother's house for a long time until they fell ill. And then after that, we started taking turns. 1 year to be my aunt's house, 1 year to be my dad's house, 1 year to be my house, and it just always flipped. And now that I'm here, we kind of kept that tradition going. Thanksgiving to be at my sister's house or my dad's house or my house. So that's kind of one thing I like that we do.
Gotcha.
We also have the pajamas for each holiday. Well, actually for Christmas, we all wear like the onesies or whatever you call them. I think mine is Superman, and I think everybody got something different or whatever.
No.
You be wearing a romper? No.
Feeding them. Love it. What is one thing at the very top of your bucket list that you wish that you could, or that you plan to?
Okay. I want to skydive, but I don't want to skydive.
You had me at sky, bro.
Yeah. Hey, that's one, but I'm not gonna do it. It's something that I want to do, but I'm not doing that.
Okay.
But yeah, is there?
All right then. That's your number one bucket list thing. Eddie?
Take my family on an overseas trip.
Nice. Where would you go?
I have two. One would be Europe, one would be Africa.
Very nice. I like that.
I've been to Europe before, and it's beautiful over there. If it wasn't so cold, I could live over there.
Okay. Hold on. What is the craziest thing you've ever done? One of the craziest things that you've ever done in your lifetime.
It's getting personal.
Duh.
Craziest thing I've ever done. I don't know. Okay.
Don't incriminate yourself though.
How crazy are we talking? I mean,
whatever you just decide to share it. I mean, did you? So I heard a story.
Let him tell it.
Okay,
I want to hear what he got to say.
I don't even know what she's gonna say.
Don't worry about it. Just tell your truth, dog.
Say it, Ashley. Say it.
Okay. So one story I heard, I'm not going to say who this is from, but one story I heard is that this gentleman and his boys used to go into an elevator and they would knock the lights out and they would just all box with each other as soon as the lights go up.
They would do what? They would box?
Like they would just be punching each other and just beating each other up in the elevator.
Oh, heck no. I don't want no points of that.
Me either, shoot.
But no, I mean, I haven't really done anything crazy. Oh, yes, I have. I can't talk about that.
Okay.
This may be a children's show. I haven't done anything crazy, man. That's PG. Yeah.
You could make it PG? You can just like kind of give us an overview.
No.
Okay.
I don't know.
Okay.
Okay. The only thing crazy. Okay, this like I guess I can say. I mean, this is okay to say, but I don't know if this is like really crazy or not. Well, like when my wife and I when we met, my wife moved in with me like after a week of us only knowing each other. You know?
Okay.
Yeah.
Put it down, huh? And she said, you know what?
Oh,
I gotta get
Lord.
this off the top. Damn, let me go ahead and move in.
I mean, that's pretty unusual. You know, that's pretty
true.
crazy.
That's true.
You know.
Okay. I'll take that. And then, you know, when we talk later, you can tell me what the other thing was that you couldn't say. Eddie, what about you? Craziest thing?
I ain't gonna go that far. You know, I live a regular, boring life.
Okay.
I would say in the military, I signed up for jump school and I jumped out of a plane.
You told me that last time.
There you go.
That's the craziest
thing.
You
said craziest.
Oh gosh. Okay. All right. Demond, where are you from originally?
Houston, Texas.
Okay, so you are from Houston. Okay. Because I was gonna ask, if you were not from the city or even the state that you are in, how did you end up where you are?
Okay, well, I mean, I can give descriptions as far as other places I lived.
Okay, that's fine.
When I was younger, I lived in Orlando, Florida.
Okay.
My mom had got married and to this guy that was in the military. He was in the army. And once he got out of when he got out of the military, we ended up moving with him to Orlando, Florida, where he's originally from. So that was younger in my life. Probably from the ages of maybe 4 or 5 to about 7 years old. We lived in Orlando, Florida. And then when I was 28, I moved to Louisiana.
Found a female.
Yeah, basically so. That was it. Yeah.
Okay. Eddie, how'd you find yourself in Arizona? Because I know you're from Chicago.
My employer that I used to work with had a big project down here, and they were looking for volunteers to come down here for, I think it was like 6 or 7 weeks. And it was in a 3-week spurt, then go home for, I think, 2 and come back for 3 or 4, whatever it was. And I volunteered. And I got down here and it was during the winter. And I'm like, man, it's nice, bro. You know, I don't have to worry about putting gloves on. I don't got to shovel snow. None of that nonsense. I said, hit my wife up and said, yo, you know, we should check out in Arizona. And so when she graduated, we came down here on vacation. And we liked it so much that we extended our vacation and talked to a realtor and said, hey, listen, we're not trying to buy a house right now, but we're just trying to learn more about Arizona. What can you tell us? And she told us about the school systems in the various areas and everything else in the neighborhoods we want to avoid and what we're going to look at and stuff like that. And we said, okay. And I said, well, we can't, I don't want to waste your time, but, you know, she said, oh, no problem. You know, this is what I do. I'll give you a tour. And so she spent the next like 3, 4, 5 days showing us all different parts of Arizona. And at that point, we were hooked. And so then we came down here on another vacation after my wife graduated. And we just kind of did our own little thing, checking out the area. And we both said, listen, I don't want to live another winter in Chicago. Let's bounce. And so we went home, did some research, and planned it out. And my job allowed me to transfer down here because they had a need. My wife couldn't transfer because she worked for the county. But we lived off me until she got herself going. And that was that.
Awesome. Awesome.
That's what's up.
Very much so. If you could instantly become an expert in something, what would it be?
Mm. Hmm.
Oh, I love y'all. I love the silence. Y'all actually thinking about this stuff.
Well, if tomorrow gonna take all day, I go first.
Yeah, you go first. I don't know.
It'll be something that's gonna generate residual income.
So what would that be?
Stock, more real estate. When I say real estate, I mean commercial property, not doggone residential, commercial. Something like that. Something where I can just sit down and watch my money make money while I'm sitting at the crib chilling.
Yeah, that's the key. That's the key, man. Come on, you figured it out yet?
I would most definitely say crypto.
Crypto.
My wife even went and bought a book, crypto
Mm-hmm.
on cryptocurrency or so.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's tricky, It's like it's not like it's kind of similar to like money because one Bitcoin can have a lot of value to it, and then one Bitcoin can not have a lot of value to it. But you got people that do stock exchange now, with Bitcoin, and it's you got some people that's pretty successful with it, and some people that's not. But yeah. So we've been like kind of like dabbing into it and trying to learn some things about Bitcoin and so. But I don't think it's something that we're really going to get deep into because come to find out that Vladimir Putin created Bitcoin and cryptocurrency, and he can turn it off at any moment, and your money is gone. So,
Ooh, yeah. Too much of a risk for that one. I feel you.
yeah, exactly. Especially with the U.S. giving Ukraine all this money and military equipment. Okay, that's another story, but yeah.
So, what is the most feel-good film that you've ever seen? Like something that you watch, even if you're just having a bad day. I could watch this and it just instantly change my mood to a better.
For me, I would have to say Love and Basketball.
Good one.
Man, you stole my answer, dog.
Never go wrong with that one, man.
Indeed.
That one or The Notebook.
Notebook was good too.
Yeah.
That was really good too.
I think my wife loved me because I've watched The Notebook. So
yeah.
I think that's why she fell in love with me. So
So Eddie, that's your answer too? Love and Basketball? Sure. Okay, gotcha. Now sticking with this movie thing, if there was a movie being made about your life, who would you want to play you?
Ooh, that's a good question. I'm not gonna say Michael B. Jordan. Too many. He's in too much right now.
Okay.
I would say T.I. I don't know. Look at Eddie
T.I.
looking.
Interesting.
Why you looking like that, Eddie?
I don't have an answer. I don't know.
Come on, man.
I really don't.
If there was a movie being made about your life, you cannot think of one.
I was just trying to think of somebody that looks similar to me.
You know, I'll go with this.
Brother.
I got an answer.
Okay.
The dude who played in Nope.
Oh, the main star, the main cast member?
Yeah, I can't remember his name.
Idris Elba?
No.
And who?
Nope.
Oh, the guy who also played in Get Out.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, okay. I can't remember his name though.
I can't either.
Yeah. He'll suit you well.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
I agree.
Yeah.
He's not quite handsome as me, but you know, he'll do.
He'll do.
Yeah.
What's the worst TV show ever made?
Oh my God.
Oh man, what's the show used to come on in the 80s? My Favorite Martian? The dude with used to be in the egg? I couldn't stand that show, man. Maybe that's just me.
I haven't heard that one. That's new. Eddie, worst TV show ever created?
I have no idea. Worst TV show.
As many shows as you watch, there's got to be one.
I don't watch that much TV. I don't watch that much TV.
You know, you can go all the way back to the 70s. You know, you
can.
Dang. I don't know, man. That's a good one. I don't know.
Okay. What's the worst injury you've ever had?
Oh, that's a good one. Left elbow, dislocated it. First grade, what was I, 6, 7 years old, doing backflips. I was probably about 7 years old. I was doing backflips in the front of the school and running, did a cartwheel, came out of the cartwheel, slipped, and when I landed, my arm was straight and it just popped and the elbow out of socket. Sorry, you asked for the worst injury.
I did. No, I could just hear it and see it, bro.
I have another one where I think I was probably about 11 or 10. I was at a cousin of mine's house. I was at one of my aunt's house, and my cousin and I, she asked us to go in the backyard and move these logs. She had like these really big logs in the backyard, and they were long. They were really long. Clint grabbed one end, I grabbed the other end, and my end slipped out my hand and fell on my foot, and my toenail came off.
Oh, God. Yeah, that sounds terrible, bro.
I laugh about it now, but man,
how long did it take you to grow back?
It grew back, I want to say, after the healing process, from all the scar tissue or whatever. And I want to say probably, I'm gonna say within a year's time it grew back. It probably didn't take a full year. No, I take that back. Yeah, it's probably about a year's time.
Okay.
It probably didn't take that long, but I'm estimating. I'm just trying to remember. So, like I say, I was probably about 11 or 12.
Okay.
Can't remember that much.
Old.
That's what it is. He old.
Oh, you need some ginkgo biloba too, sir. Don't even try to get
Mine is cloudy. Come on,
Eddie. What's the worst one?
I'll give you 3.
Okay.
One, at the time I was in college, and it was late, and I was just about to go to bed, and my brother-in-law called me because there's this gym that's open 24 hours every day of the week. He said, "Man, let's go hoop." I'm like, "Man, I'm about to lay down." He said, "Come on, man, let's go hoop." I'm like, do I go to work in the morning? Come on, man. And it was probably about 12:30 a.m. when he called me and asked me to come. But every time you go up there, there's always people playing, no matter what. I'm like, all right, man, let's go. So I go up there, and in the first game, I was going up for a layup, and a guy ducked and undercut me and I rolled over and broke my wrist in 2 places. And my wrist was like a letter S. From my wrist to my elbow, like a letter S. So I broke that. And when I broke it, I knew it because I heard everybody say, damn. And I was scared to look down.
Yeah.
I'm like, man, this can't be good. Now I just remember holding it. Everybody was saying, damn. And I looked down like, oh, bro, I knew I should have stayed home.
But they saying damn because of the way old buddy undercut you. Oh
no, when they saw my arm. So that was one. Another one was one that still bothers me to this day from playing football on, show you my age, on AstroTurf. And I made a cut, and ever since then, if I jog on it or put too much pressure on it or something, I feel my ankle it's just not, something just ain't quite right.
Yeah.
So that's another one. And a third one injury I got, I don't feel any effects of it. I just wonder how, if at all, it affects me when I got a concussion playing football. So there you go.
Whew. Glad y'all healed. I'm glad y'all healed nicely from those wounds. I mean, besides your ankle thing, but yeah, some of that stuff is very hard to come back from. A few more questions for you guys. These are kind of like would you rather kind of things. So would you rather spend a week in a forest or a night in a real haunted house?
Night in a haunted house.
I'll take the forest.
I cannot do the forest, dog. Bears and animals and wildlife and what we gonna eat. No, bro.
Am I in a house or a tent?
You're in a house, a haunted house. Oh, well, no, if you
in the forest.
In the forest?
You just out there with nature, dog.
Yeah. A haunted house where ghouls and goblins are awaiting your presence.
I can do the haunted house. I can pray my way out of that.
Okay.
Yeah,
Would you rather have a pause button or a rewind button in your life?
Rewind.
Give me the rewind button, please. Give it to me for 500, Alex.
That first wife my first wife would get taken out the equation. You got to go.
Mine too, no, and a few others.
I'm a rewind, and because she asked me out 3 times, I kept telling her no. Finally, one day I said, "The hell with it." What the hell was I thinking? I'd have said no. I'd have said not no, but hell no.
like mine. We had met prior to us, like when we started dating. I knew what she was, and then when she had saw me again, she's like, "Hey, ain't your name Damon?" I was like, "No." Like, you don't remember me? I said, "No." She said, "Don't you got a cousin named J.R.?" I said, "No." She was like, "Yes, you do." I mean, I tried my best, man, to act like I didn't know this chick, man. Oh man.
Oh. Would you rather always have a full phone battery or a full tank of gas?
Tank of gas.
Tank of gas.
Come on, man. You see these gas prices?
I can go without the phone.
Yeah.
Okay. Give y'all something. Oh, here's a good one. Would you rather travel the world for free for a year or have $50,000 to spend however you please right now?
Oh,
get 50 grand. No.
Ooh, I think travel the world for free.
You mean 50 grand? I'm gonna invest that. I'm gonna invest that and roll that money over. It's like a drug deal. I'm gonna turn a quarter to a half to a half to a whole.
Oh my gosh! Children,
8 ball.
Children.
I'm gonna flip that.
Oh my god!
A quarter to a half to a whole.
Cut it.
Like dude said.
Ooh,
like dude said, I'm gonna flip it and do the same thing.
Bird game, baby.
Stupid. Stupid. Okay. Would you rather detect every lie you hear or get away with every lie you tell?
Detect.
What was that you said?
Would you rather detect every lie that you hear or get away with every lie that you tell?
Oh, detect. Detect, yeah.
Okay. All right. So would you rather win the lottery and have to spend it all in one day or triple your current salary forever? That's easy.
Oh, I tripled my current salary forever. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, now how much am I winning? And I got to spend in this one day. Now
Let's say
I'll take the triple though.
let's say it's $1 billion.
Is it
You either
possible to
one.
spend 1 billion in one day?
I don't know. Well, hey, some ladies it might. They probably can spend that.
Man, yeah, throw
One
her back
billion to
to the
spend.
street. Yeah, throw her back to the streets if she's spending
Some.
$1 billion in 1 day. Eddie got that stank look on his face.
I already know my answer. I'm winning the lottery because when I spend it, it's gonna be something that's gonna create residual income. I'm gonna spend it on commercial property. Come on, man. And a lot of it. Easy answer.
I take my triple.
No, because then I can quit my job and just sit back and live off that.
Okay.
Your lottery wins was only $1,000.
Come on, man. She didn't say that.
I said that. That's what I'm giving you. That's what
if I win $5 million, I'm gonna go buy commercial property in Chandler and Gilbert, maybe even downtown somewhere, maybe even downtown Tempe, and I'm gonna watch that. I'm gonna watch that money make me money.
you gonna spend the entire 5 on it though?
It has to be spent in one day.
I got to spend it all in one day. Let me get
okay.
that building, that building, that building, that building, that building. And my kids gonna get it when I'm gone. Come on, man. That's money forever. Good. Give me that. Give me that. Get tripling my salary. I still gotta go to work. I'm gonna triple my salary until I go to work. No, bro. Give me that. Give me that commercial property. And I'm gonna sit down. And then you know what? And then while you still going to that same job, I'm gonna quit my job. And be sitting down chilling, watching that money make money. Come on.
You still tripling your salary? Come on.
Nah. Nah. See, I wasn't thinking about the point where I got to get up the next morning and go back to work.
Yeah.
I feel you. Last question for this. Would you rather live without heat or live without AC?
Woo.
Mm.
Mine down there in Houston, so that no AC. Oh my God, he might die.
I mean, okay.
Today, bro.
You can go.
I can't live without the heat. No. I mean the AC.
Oh, I was going to say.
I can wrap up in some blankets in the wintertime. But yeah, being hot in the summertime, nah, I gotta have my AC.
Okay.
Yeah, I need the AC. I've lived a number of times without heat. Give me the AC, and it wasn't by choice.
Okay. Last questions, gentlemen. Mm-hmm. What 2 things do you consider yourself great at, and what 2 things are you terrible at?
2 things I'm great at. One would have to be a father. I'm not gonna say husband, because sometimes I can be a horrible husband. I think my wife would have agreed to that one. I think a positive person or positive individual who cares about others. Okay. I'm pretty great at that.
Okay.
Things I'm worst at. I don't know. It's not that I don't want to say something. I just don't know.
Okay, I'm gonna come back. I'm gonna come back to you.
Yeah, go ahead, Eddie.
Eddie, 2 things you're really good at, 2 things that you're not so good at.
I'm a great listener. You know, despite me known for talking a lot and being outspoken and, you know, getting on your show, anybody else's show, even my own, and talking a lot, I'm also a great listener. You know, if you just want to get something off your chest, I'm the guy to talk to. I kind of take pride in that. Like Damon, I also consider myself a great father. You know, I take pride in that. I won't say I'm the greatest husband, but I'm a good husband. Things I'm bad at, I've never taken criticism well. I've never taken criticism well. It's always met, I shouldn't say always, but it's often met with some kind of pushback. What else? Bad at
Cooking?
Oh yeah, I can't cook. Shit.
Oh, same here.
I can cook. I can make you a cheeseburger. I can make you some ramen noodles. I can make you breakfast. And when I say breakfast, I don't mean like the whole thing. I mean like eggs, you know, sausage patty that's already done. You just put them on the stove, on the skillet, and let it cook. And that's about it. That is my entire. Oh, and like a hamburger. That is my entire repertoire. You need anything else, the house will be on fire. My wife has often told me that the stove is off limits. She was starved before she allowed me to turn the stove off. And then when I do cook, like my daughter eat it, my wife will smell it before she eat it. Like, I don't know.
Good stuff, Jim.
When I didn't have a girlfriend, anything like that, I was often at my grandmother's house, my sister's house, my parents' house, or something. Because either that or I was at the restaurant. Because me, no, it didn't happen.
Demond, did you ever figure out what the one other thing you were bad at?
I'm worse at cooking as well. I can remember when I was a teenager, my mom went out of town, left me and my brothers at home, and I made some fried chicken, and that chicken wasn't cooked all the way through. It tarnished me for life. With that, I am afraid to attempt to fry chicken. Now I can bake chicken with the best of them, you know.
Yeah.
Outside of baked chicken, the only thing I can cook is, you know, a little bit of breakfast food, bacon, eggs. I forgot how to cook grits. Yeah, bacon, eggs. I can make pancakes and French toast.
Okay, so you're already a little bit better than Daddy already.
Yeah, I mean, I can do that, but when it comes to cooking dinner, like a nice garnet, a nice meal, nah. I'd say only thing you're gonna get from me is some baked chicken and some rice and some steamed vegetables in the pack that you just throw in the microwave.
Oh man, maybe we need to offer some SFL cooking tutorial classes for you guys. But hey man, this was a good conversation. Yeah.
What happened to all the women that was in this league? Because I don't, unless I'm just not up to date. Only ones that I know that are left are you, Tazzy Blackwell, and
Ike McBride.
Oh yeah, okay, I forgot about Ike.
Kendra's still here.
Kendra, yeah, I know Kendra's still here.
Blue Sky. You're probably thinking about Ashley, Ashley Rose Finch.
Oh,
she was like the very first woman.
Tom Pepper's girlfriend.
Yeah. And
okay.
She left when he left.
Gotcha.
Who else? Of course, you got Rachel. She's still here.
Yeah. Okay. I guess
sure.
I guess I was gonna be, too much paying attention to it or whatever.
Yeah. Yeah, it's still female. It's still females now. I would imagine just females joining every day. Sarah, she played for us. She was what's her player's name?
But the Harrell.
Well, yeah, the Harrell family. Kathleen.
They all there. Besides KT. Yeah, they all there besides KT. Yeah,
KT's still here. No, oh my God, I cannot think of her name right now. Oh my God, Eddie.
The kicker for Fort Worth.
No, that's a guy.
Oh, that's why he uses
his
name.
That's his daughter.
Yeah.
Oh my God, Eddie, Sarah. She was just on our team when she went to Vegas.
Oh yeah. Dang it. It's a damn shame.
We both need.
I got a name right here. Hold on.
And I believe A-Star Mahones. I think that's.
Yeah, that's what's her name's girlfriend?
Yeah, is it John?
John Bonds.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, yeah. Still got a few.
That's what's up.
Yeah. So. But yeah, this was a really good conversation, and I really.
Maurice Lloyd.
There he is. There you go. There you go. So yeah, we still got a few women in here, but gentlemen, this was a great conversation. Of course, I'm glad I was able to catch up with you guys. I know you guys are busy and things like that, so thank you for your time. Before I let you go, of course, I gotta ask y'all got any questions for me before we leave tonight?
No, I don't have any questions. I'm good.
Okay.
I talk to you every day. I think I got all my questions answered.
All good. And I cannot let you both go without giving you the last words. So that can be a song, a shout out, or a poem. But Damon, I'll let you go first. The floor is yours.
Nothing this week.
Oh man, I thought you was gonna start singing something.
I had a song, but it's not registering right now. I don't know what's going on with it.
You weren't gonna sing it no way.
I wasn't gonna sing it.
Dion started singing for me.
Did he?
Yeah, she did.
That's what's up. I'm going to check it out. No, I ain't. That sounds so stupid.
I can't.
It's this Jodeci song that I listen to. I can't remember it though. I listen to it all the time. I can't remember it right now. Crazy.
That's so good. Well, you can just give a shout out to whoever you like.
Shout out to everybody.
Okay, that works for me. Eddie, you still thinking about that song, ain't you?
No. Shout out to everybody in league staff who make this thing go. Shout out to Arizona Scorpions, of course. Whole squad over there, you crew thick in that bitch. Shout out to all the podcasters and content creators who give us something to watch or listen to during the week when there's no games on. Shout out to my family for allowing me to spend as much time as I do to do this. Shout out to you, of course, for giving us this platform. You 270 some odd shows in now and still rolling.
You added a few, but that's cool.
260 something, whatever the heck it is.
258.
258. This will be 259. And yeah, man, that's pretty much it.
All right. Well, I appreciate you, gentlemen, again, being on. Hit me up whenever y'all want to come on and talk about some good stuff. I probably have like a coaches thing, like an all coaches panel. You guys can kind of bounce some questions off each other. Probably.
I've been trying to do that for a long time on my show, but it's hard to get people together. Everybody's busy.
True. Very true. But everybody, thank you all for taking the time out of your day to watch this show. I really appreciate your time and you tuning in. Hope you learned a lot. I know I did. And I'm looking forward to bringing you another great podcast next week, y'all. But until
shout out to Will and Skinny for doing what they do behind the scenes, as well as Hunter Norwood for what he does behind the scenes too. Shout out to Cliff, best social media guy in the SFL. No disrespect to nobody. That's it.
You sure?
You got it.
Okay. Make sure. Okay. Looking forward to bringing y'all another great podcast next week, y'all. But until then, stay safe, treat each other well. Striker, out.